Hey everyone, Pauline here, back with another Subtl tutorial. So I wanted to kind of come back to basics with this one and really break down the best way to wear and set concealer. So I have a mini stack with me here today just of the Subtl concealer and the shine control powder, and I'm going to give you some basic tips on, from my experience as a makeup artist, both on myself but also on my clients, the best way to set concealer to not crease, to stay, and to make your eyes feel as awake as possible. So first things first, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that skin prep is everything when it comes to makeup, but especially for under eyes. If you have dehydrated, tired eyes and you just go ahead and put makeup right on top of them, all it's gonna do is slightly mask what's there. So if what's there is dry and flaky and dehydrated, it might actually accentuate that, versus if it's hydrated, moisturized, that is a very different base to be setting makeup on top of versus just going straight on to tired skin. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply just my own eye cream on. I did do my skincare already, but I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of redo this. I put about, I don't know how much that is, like this much. That's how much I put on. I'm putting on a little extra because I just did that again. I like to use my ring fingers here just because they are the fingers that give the least amount of pressure to this under eye area. And I like to personally start right in here, since this is where I see the most discoloration on my eyes. And I'm just patting this really, really lightly under my eyes. I also like personally to throw a little bit on top of my lids just to also hydrate up there. A lot of people suffer from dry eyelids, especially if you have sensitive skin, people who suffer from eczema, psoriasis. I see this a lot, and making sure that you're using a gentle hydrating and potentially a thicker moisturizing eye cream if you have really dry eye area is going to be key. So once that's set in place, I like to kind of just let it sit for a minute. But now I'm gonna go into that Subtl concealer. I use the shade Arlington. This is that shade, and I'm actually gonna first apply with my fingers. So the biggest trick to not creasing is to not put too much product in the areas that our eyes crease. So if you smile, you'll see that the majority of our creases on most people are right like a little off center from the middle of the eye. That's where the majority of your lines are going to start. So I like to actually focus my product for the most part away from that area so that when I'm applying it, it's not building up unnecessarily on top of where all those wrinkles are. So all I'm doing is just pushing with my finger, that same ring finger, lightly into that middle area where I personally get that little like divot of a shadow. And I also get a little bit of a shadow on my outer corner from my brow bone. And then anything that's left, that's what I'm going to start to pull into that middle outer area, just so I'm, kind of evening that out. So you can already see this side is a little bit brighter, a little bit more moisturized. And what's great about the Subtl concealer is it's super moisturizing. I love that, especially if you have drier skin, if you have more mature skin. This is an amazing concealer for that. Again, I'm really focusing, placing it and pushing it right into these outer corner and inner corner areas. And then I'm gonna just take any extra, and that's what I will put in that middle part of the eye. And then I also like to just put a little bit on top of my lids, because if I get any discoloration up there, that really helps. So I'm actually twisting off the bottom of my stack here to get that Subtl Beauty blender, and I'm going to open up the Shine Control powder. The new Shine Control powder formula also has blue light protection integrated into that formula, which is awesome if you're sitting in front of a screen. And I'm just going to kind of get this filled up with that powder. Now, I don't like to apply too much powder when I set, so this is my other trick, is to take off that initial dusting of powder and put it just on the back of your hand. I think when we over powder, it can really get into those natural crease areas, and we don't want that. We just want to set where we put the majority of product, which is in the inner corner and the outer corner. So I'm just going to turn this on the side and just really press this in very lightly. I'm using my pointer finger here, but I'm still going really light. I'm gonna focus it in that inner and outer corner. And then anything that's extra, this is when I will pull it into that middle section. And this is really gonna be your differentiator between your concealer kind of lasting all day versus it kind of like melting once you wear your makeup. Again, I'm gonna kind of get this dusted. I will take that initial powder off on the back of my hand, and then I'm just going to turn this to the side and really just pat this right on top of those areas that I applied the majority of the concealer product. And then anything extra, that is where I will put it in that middle area. Hopefully this helped. I think sometimes people overdo their concealer and it actually leads to more creasing. So keep it simple, keep it focused and concentrated, and I really think you will notice a difference. So hopefully this helped, and stay tuned for more Subtl tutorials back on our YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Bye everyone.